It was a nightmare. It was very surreal. Felt like I was living in a different universe. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that somebody that close to me had West Nile. Me and my dad were the pranksters of the house. We were always pulling pranks on somebody. Just seeing his interaction with my daughter, she was his world. Probably 2 weeks prior to when everything happened, he stayed at home. He had walked down to a neighbor's house to talk about cars, and my mom and I can remember him coming in and saying, "Man, the mosquitoes are bad tonight. You need to bring Cadence in." And so we brought her in and, didn't think anything of it. And as time went on, we went to the fair. That was September 17th. September 19th, he had a fever. We took him to the hospital. He was admitted right away. They're running all kinds of tests. They don't know what's going on. They're throwing every antibiotic that they can at him. He's not getting any better. His fever spiked to 107. At this point, he can't close his eyes because they're so swollen. He's starting to not be able to breathe correctly. And he stops recognizing himself, me. He couldn't tell you who anybody was. He couldn't talk. We tried to get him to write on a board because he couldn't talk, and he couldn't even write because he was just shaking so badly. It was very scary. I think the moment of reality for me was when they called the code blue on him and made us all leave the room, and he got transported to ICU then. We didn't find out until October 3rd that it was West Nile. And at that point, they just told us, there's nothing we can do at this point except treat the symptoms. Until I started researching after this happened to my dad, I didn't realize it was such a common thing around here. I'm scared to go outside. I'm scared to let my daughter go outside. The fact that he got it at our house makes it even worse. At his funeral, he had several of his employees, because he was a supervisor, they came through and told us, he was the best boss they'd ever had in their life. I still get messages to this day that they miss him. Everything you do, you think, oh man, I need to call Dad and tell him that. But you can't. So now, before the kids go outside, we have bug spray right by the door. And that's procedure. He was the most kind-hearted, giving person you would ever meet. He'd give his last dollar to somebody. Anytime one of his friends called and needed help with their car, he was there. He was just a big, funny, loving guy. I think we had a pretty good time. We spent 2 weeks at our lake house. And then, like I said, we were at the fair just 2 days before all of this. But the one thing I really miss is his hugs.